and welcome to episode 4 of Just Ask Kathleen. Thank you for joining me again this week. I'm going to start with a very short email from a guy I'm going to call Tony. I'm in my 3rd year at university, and since first year I've fancied a girl who is on the same course as me. Fancied a girl, I love that expression. I know she has a boyfriend. What should I do? Oh, let me think about that for a nanosecond. Nothing! You shouldn't do anything. If you know this girl has a boyfriend, what should I do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Tony, I don't really know what you wanted me to say to that question, because in fact, you really like this girl, you're attracted to this girl. If something's going to happen with her, it will happen when she's not with the boyfriend anymore. But getting involved in trying to get close to her while she has a boyfriend is a really bad idea. Sorry. I wondered if you thought I was going to go for it. Do what you can. Do what you can to get her attention. I'm not going to say that. It just would be messy and end badly, probably. So, the question, I know she has a boyfriend, what should I do, is an easy one to answer. Really, really don't do anything. Just be yourself. Get on with being a student and enjoying the social life, and unrequited love is never great, but she is with a boyfriend, so let it go. Get on and see if you meet somebody else. She might finish with that boyfriend, and then there's an opportunity for you to perhaps go out with her for a bit and see how you get on, but I certainly wouldn't be doing anything just now. Okay, this next email is from a lady I'm going to call Jen. I'm 32 and live about a 20-minute drive away from my dad and stepmom. My dad remarried 2 years ago, and at first I thought everything was fine. But it's clear my stepmom doesn't want me around, as whenever dad and I make arrangements to meet up, she somehow manages to interfere with the plans and stop us getting together. I do understand that she's probably jealous of my relationship with my dad, but he's my dad. I love him and I want to spend time with him when I'm off work. I don't mean every day, but once a week or once every 2 weeks even. I don't know how to get her to understand I'm happy that they're together. He seems really, really happy, and I'm not trying to take him away from her. Can you help me, please? Your stepmom is obviously quite insecure in some way and sees you as some kind of threat to the time that she has with your dad. I don't know, but this definitely needs to have you need to have a conversation with her. It's a shame because it sounds like you'd be quite open to having a friendship with her as well, which would be great. And she obviously needs a lot of reassurance somehow. So if it's possible to phone up and either ask to speak to her on the phone directly or suggest that you and her go for a coffee somewhere so you can have a chat. Just very gently take steps towards the fact that you want to get her to understand that this is okay. I'm okay. I'm not the devil incarnate. I am just your husband's daughter, adult daughter, who just wants to see my dad sometimes. So find a way to either speak to her on the telephone, meet her for a coffee and have a conversation about this, or email. I always think face-to-face is better, or on the phone. So my listing of priorities here, when we're wanting to express ourselves emotionally honest, the best way is face-to-face, then telephone, then email. Never text or WhatsApp or whatever. Okay, no. So you phone her up and say, hi, wondered if you'd like to meet for coffee later today or later this week. I'd really like to just have a chat with you and catch up. That can be enough to get things started. So you go and meet somewhere for a coffee. She might bring your dad with her, she might not, doesn't matter. You stay very grounded, stay in your body. Try not to overthink what you're going to say. Just be very comfortable and confident in your delivery. Don't be overthinking it. So you start off with, oh, it's lovely to see you. Give her a hug. That's enough of a positive opening. That's a positive. The event is, in recent weeks when I've tried to arrange to meet up with dad, things have happened and it's been cancelled for some reason or another. So you're not blaming, you're not saying because you're making this happen, you're not doing that. You refer to the event of things being cancelled. It makes me feel upset and sad because, I don't see dad that often, but I would like to see him once every couple of weeks. What I need you to understand is that I am truly happy that you make dad so happy, and he really does seem to love you very much and be in a very happy relationship with you. But I'd really like to spend some time with him too, not a lot, and emphasize what sort of time frame you're talking about, how regularly you'd like to see him, and include her in that. Bring her into that dialogue. And would you like to come too? There's a movie coming out. Why don't we all three of us go and have a supper and go and see this film? You can really be very inclusive when you're speaking to her about this, and then end by saying, I really hope we can move on from this, because I want to be part of your life and Dad's life and have a good, healthy relationship with you and him. So give that a go, and if it is easier to do it by email, or it feels too uncomfortable to imagine saying that face to face, then by all means do it in a different way. But emailing is fine, but use that template again, listing the positive of the event, the feeling, the need, the positive, so you get it all out and she's able to look at it and look at it again. It might be good for her actually to have that there to refer back to and share with your dad even. So just whatever you feel is the right way to go about this, but it does need to be spoken about. So good luck, Jen, and I hope that resolves the situation so that you can get to see your dad a bit more. Okay, the last one for today is from a lady I'm going to call Tabitha. I've been in therapy for a year. I started going as I was struggling to come to terms with the end of a 5-year relationship. I don't feel any better. How long should it take to start to feel even a little bit better? Well, that is a bit of a kind of how long is a piece of string question. However, there's so many different types of therapy. There's therapies that have you really sitting in silence sometimes, reflecting on the feelings that are coming up. There's therapy where the therapist gets very involved in instructing and directing. Guess which type I do. So the instructional and directional approach gives clients tasks, gives them homework to do, sets them in a direction which has them keeping their focus forward. And it might be that you just need to slightly change direction with your therapist if they're willing to do that, or change therapist altogether. After a year in therapy, I would definitely be expecting you to feel some shift in the way you feel about the end of the relationship that you were in, the 5-year relationship. My sense is that if you go to when you go to your next session, if you were to say to your therapist, look, I need some pointers, I need some support to stop going back and reflecting and looking at this relationship because I don't feel like I'm moving forward. They may well be up for that. They may not be though. And if they say, no, we're going to stick with what we're doing, we're really getting to the root of this, we're getting to deep down into the feelings of this, and that doesn't resonate with you, you don't feel that's right for you, then you can terminate the relationship with your therapist. Never feel you have to stick with the same therapist. If it doesn't feel like it's working for you, find someone that you feel a connection with in some way. So really important that when you're doing therapeutic work, it's not about liking the therapist, but you connect with them in some form. So what they're saying makes sense to you, or you come away thinking, right, I know what I need to do. I'm quite clear about that. You feel supported by them in the session. You look forward sometimes, but you don't absolutely dread the session about to start. You're seeing that change is happening and progress is being made. If that's not happening after a year, I would be thinking about moving direction. Speak to friends, ask if they can recommend. Recommendations are always better. Google's Google, that's fine. But if you can have a personal recommendation, I would do that, because my feeling is that you probably need to be given very structured homework to help you remember the relationship but not be held back by the relationship. I hope that makes some sense to you, Tabitha. I'm feeling like you're ready to move on, and maybe some change has happened, but you're recognizing it's not happening quickly enough, and a year is a long time in therapy. So yeah, find some way of either asking your therapist to change direction slightly, or find a different type of therapy which will give you that support that you clearly want and need. But thank you very much for emailing. So that's the end of episode 4. Do email me on justask@kathleenkettles.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. All the best. Bye.